Breaker of this world's chain, we adore thee, whom all men love, spotless, taking man's form. O purifier, thou art above the gunas three, knowledge divine, not flesh, thou whom the cosmos wears, a diamond at its heart. Let us look deep in thine eyes. They are bright with the wisdom of God, that can
Samstapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupini Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishnaya Te Namaha. Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year and Shubha Kalpataru. Happy Kalpataru Day. We'll find out in a minute that this expression, Kalpataru Day, requires a little bit of nuancing. I have to add a few caveats about it in our tradition. But this day does hold special significance for us, and I'll try to explain that. What I'll do is I'll first read an account of this very special day, 1st January 1886, from Sharadanji's biography of Sri Ramakrishna and his divine play. And then I'll offer some brief reflections about the incident. On 1st January 1886, the master felt better from his illness, the throat cancer, and expressed a desire to walk in the garden for a short while. Because it was a holiday, the householder devotees began arriving at the Kashipur garden after midday individually and in groups. The master came down from upstairs at 3 p.m. There were more than 30 people talking amongst themselves inside the house and sitting under the trees in the garden. They all stood up reverently and bowed down when they saw him. The master went out through the western door of the hall, descended onto the garden path, and proceeded slowly southward to the gate. The devotees followed him at a little distance. When he reached the midpoint of the path between the house and the gate, the master saw Girish, Ram, Atul, and a few others under a tree on the west side of the path. They bowed down to him and came to him joyfully. Before anyone had spoken a word, the master addressed Girish, asking him, "Girish, what have you seen and understood about me that makes you say all these things?" What things? That Sri Ramakrishna was an incarnation. That makes you say all these things to everyone, wherever you go. Unperturbed, Girish knelt down at the master's feet, folded his hands before his raised face, and responded in a voice choked with emotion. What more can I say of him? Even the sages Vyasa and Valmiki could find no words to measure his glory. Girish's sincere faith expressed in those words so moved the master that he said to the devotees while looking at Girish, "What more need I tell you? I bless you all. May you all be illumined." He became overwhelmed with love and compassion for his devotees and went into ecstasy after uttering those few words. That selfless and profound blessing touched the devotees deep within their hearts, and they became mad with joy. They forgot time and space. They forgot the master's illness. They forgot that they had vowed not to touch the master until his recovery. They saw that a wondrous divine being had come down to them from heaven and was calling to them affectionately. They also felt that their suffering grieved him and that he was carrying in his heart an infinite pain and compassion for them and offering them shelter as selflessly as a loving mother. They became anxious to bow down to him and take the dust of his feet. Their cries of victory to Ramakrishna, Jai Ramakrishna, resounded in all directions as one by one they bowed down to him. As they touched his feet, the ocean of the master's compassion burst through all bounds and created an astonishing phenomenon. Almost every day in Dakshineshwar, we had seen the master become overwhelmed with compassion and grace and bless some devotees with his powerful divine touch. On this day, as he remained in a semi-ecstatic state, he began to touch each devotee present in a similar way, and their joy was boundless. The devotees understood that from this day on, the master would no longer conceal his divinity from them or from anyone else in the world. They had no doubt that from now on, all sinners and sufferers, despite their shortcomings, lack of spirituality, and feelings of inadequacy, would find shelter at his blessed feet. Seeing the master in that unique and exalted state, some became speechless and could only watch him as if bewitched. Some called out loudly to everyone inside the house to come and be blessed by the master's grace. Others picked flowers from the garden and began to worship him, uttering mantras and showering him with flowers. When the master's ecstasy came to an end after some time, the devotees calmed down. The master finished his walk in the garden, then returned to the house and sat down in his room. There's more to the description. What's remarkable, there are many things that are remarkable, but one of the things is every time he touched one of these devotees, they would go into some kind of ecstatic spiritual state. And each devotee described their experience in very different ways. And I'll just give you a little taste of this. So one devotee, actually the nephew of Sri Ramakrishna, Ramlal, he said the following. We can all kind of relate to Ramlal here, at least the first part, before he gets the experience. He says, before that experience, the blessing of Sri Ramakrishna, when I meditated, I could see only part of my chosen deity with my mind's eye. When I saw his feet, I couldn't see his face. And when I saw his form from his face to his waist, I couldn't see his feet. Moreover, what I saw never seemed to be alive. But no sooner had the master touched me that day, that the whole form of my chosen deity appeared in my heart as a living presence, benign and effulgent. Another striking example, Boikuntanath Shannal. The master blesses him, he touches him, and Boikuntanath explains his state as follows. He says, I was amazed and spellbound by seeing the blessed master in all things. This experience remained whether I went to the office or elsewhere on business. But this is kind of interesting because he can't sustain that state. It's making him crazy. So this is how Boikuntanath himself describes the experience. He says, my work suffered because I couldn't concentrate on my regular duties. When I realized this, I tried unsuccessfully to stop that vision for a while. I now understood a little why Arjuna was afraid when he had the vision of the cosmic form of Lord Krishna in chapter 11 of the Gita, and why he prayed to Krishna to withdraw it. I remembered that the scriptures said liberated souls dwelt in the same exalted state of consciousness. I now got a little glimpse from this experience of how much desirelessness is necessary for a person to remain continuously in that state. Hardly had a few days passed when I was overwhelmed by this continuous vision and spiritual mood and found it difficult to function. Sorry, I just lost found it difficult to function. Where is that? Sometimes I thought, shall I lose my mind? At last I prayed to the master fearfully, O Lord, I'm not able to contain this spiritual fervor. Please release me from this state. Woe to human weakness and stupidity. Now I think, why did I pray that way? Why didn't I have faith in him and wait patiently to see what the ultimate result would be? I might have become mad, or my body might have dropped away. Who cares? Soon after that prayer, my vision and spiritual mood abruptly came to an end. I was fully convinced that my experience came to an end by the same person from whom I had received it. But perhaps because the complete cessation of that vision didn't arise in my mind as I prayed, he kindly kept a little of that experience in me. I could see that divine, effulgent, gracious form of the Master several times a day and was overwhelmed with joy and blessedness. So I'm just giving you a little taste of how he blessed each of these about 30 devotees that day. It's an extraordinary day. But remember, I promised that I would add a few caveats to this notion of January 1st being Kalpataru Day. The caveat is as follows. If any of you have visited Belumat on this day, you might be a little surprised. Have any of you visited Belumat on January 1st? No. Okay. Well, you walk in and you're looking for festivities and banners and zero, nil, nothing, nada. Are monks talking about Kalpataru Day? Are they saying Happy Kalpataru Day? Nothing, zero, nothing. By contrast, You take a boat over to Kashipur, the garden house, which is a center just across the way. What do you see? An astonishing phenomenon. In the US, on Black Friday, right? You find these huge lines of people camping out so that they can get a $500 laptop from Best Buy. It's the same thing, except you go to Kashipur on January 1st. It's extraordinary. People are waiting in line, these lines that extend for, I'm not joking, for half a mile. Block after block after block. Sleeping overnight. Why? For about literally a 2-second darshan. Darshan means vision. Because they get to just enter Sri Ramakrishna's bedroom where he left his body. And they can't even sit there. Monks are lucky. We have this little cordoned off area in Sri Ramakrishna's room, only for monks. And you can sit there. Monks can meditate happily as long as they want. Devotees who are waiting in line for 6-7 hours are allowed only a 2-second darshan. They can't even bow down and do pranams. Why? Because TC Brahmacharis, I was a training center Brahmachari there, and our duty, we sent a big troop of training center Brahmacharis there on January 1st, and the duty I had was, me and another Brahmachari on the other side, we'd be saying in Bengali, Egiye cholun, darabenna, which means what? Keep going, move. You can't stay here. Go, move, herding them like sheep. It's extraordinary. It reminds me of Bhagavan Krishna's mantra in the Gita. He says, Chatuvidha bhajante mam, janaha sukhtano jana, arto jigyasurathati gyani cha bharatashipa. 4 kinds of people worship me, says Krishna. All of them are good, including those who pray for worldly things. Even if these people waiting 6 hours in line are asking for, a salary raise, a promotion, help their kid get into an IIT, whatever it is. But look at the faith. Look at the devotion. It's extraordinary. So anyway, sorry, that was a bit of a tangent. But why is Kalpataru Day not celebrated in Belunmat? This is the big question. It's quite interesting. And why is it celebrated so grandly in Kashipur? Okay. Sharadanandaji has a nice explanation here. Because interestingly, he says, it's a mistake to call this day, January 1st, Kalpataru Day. What's the mistake that's being made? The mistake is to think that Sri Ramakrishna is Kalpataru, the wish-fulfilling tree, only on one day of the year. He says he is the eternal wish-fulfilling tree. He is the eternal Kalpataru. There's nothing significant about this day as in the sense that Sri Ramakrishna is Kalpataru. He is a Kalpataru 365 days a year, without exception. And that's why Sharananji mentioned, he saw him on a daily basis, saw him doing the same thing on a daily basis. That's not the speciality of this day. It's not the fact that he was a wish-fulfilling tree on January 1st. Then what is the special significance of the day? That's the question. And Sharananji, in his chapter on this incident, in his wonderful biography, the title of the chapter is very telling. In Bengali, it's Attoprokashe Abhay Pradhan, which means he bestows fearlessness to everybody by revealing his true divine nature to everybody, universally. The significance here is the following. If you read the gospel, you'll find, and some people get confused by it, if Sri Ramakrishna was God, why didn't he shout from the rooftops that he was God? Instead, you find people even saying, some people will come to him and say, you're God. He says, no, never call me God. I'm a servant at the dust of the feet of the humblest servants of God, and this and that. He often didn't like being called God. He hid his divinity. And he even mentioned, he said, sometimes a king, when he wants to kind of just see what's going on in his kingdom, what'll he do? He'll dress up like one of the peasants, one of his subjects, and live with them without letting on that he's a king, and nobody will know that he's a king. He says a very sattvic avatara, a very sattvic incarnation is like that. God will incarnate in human form, but they won't reveal themselves. Until this day, this very special day, 1st January, 1886. Before this day, he revealed his divinity, his status as an incarnation, to a select few, to what is called his antaranga, his inner circle. And he was very careful not to divulge his divinity to a broader public. On this day, notice one thing that's significant about this day. All of the people he blessed were householders. Not one was a monastic. A future monastic, right? So he left his body just months later. And he said, the moment many people start figuring out that I'm God, I'll leave my body. And this is, of course, what happened. In August of the same year, he left his body. So that's something to keep in mind, that we say Kalpataru Day, we can say it, it's catchy and it's caught on, and it's one of those things like once it's caught on, it's hard to change it. But keeping in mind that he is not just a wish-fulfilling tree on one day, but that he's a wish-fulfilling tree all the time. So, just a short prayer. May Shri Ram Krishna, the eternal Kalpataru, bless us all on this auspicious first day of the new year. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. So there will be silent meditation now.